I want to bust a myth with you today, and that is around your diet when it comes to fat. And I'm talking about healthy, saturated fat in particular, because interestingly enough, the myth goes that back in the 70s, there was studies that came out that started to show people that logically people were getting more heart attacks and having more cholesterol show up in their blood, and therefore we should stop eating as much cholesterol and fats. Unfortunately, it's more complicated than that. And so by going into a low-fat diet, you are missing out on a lot of dense calories because fat is the most nutrient, is the most dense, is calorie-dense nutrient you can get. And basically, when you replace that type of energy and you start eating more carbohydrates as a result, or sugars, or starchy foods to fill your belly, those things start to create a sugar and carbohydrate rich environment in your blood. And your body wants to start doing something with those. And so it affects your insulin and it makes you insulin resistant. And hence, there is a lot of correlation with this fad or this myth that started to change Western Canada and the Western world, that basically led to an increase in diabetes as well, because more insulin resistance was occurring. People's bodies started storing fat because that's what happens as a result of insulin resistance, because a normal healthy body will use the calories it has, including fats, to burn and create healthy functions in the body. But if you introduce too many other carbohydrates and fat and sugar-rich foods, you start to create a different environment where your body is now saying, uh-oh, I got to store all this extra fat away because I have to deal with all these other energy-rich foods. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on that, but what I will do is introduce you to healthy sources of saturated fat, stuff that is tried and true in my own diet and many other people that I know. I encourage you to research the Bulletproof Executive. He's got a great, Dave Asprey has an amazing diet planned out for anyone to experiment with on their own. And essentially, fats are important. Your brain runs off of fats, and your hormones are hugely reliant on the amount of fats in your system. And so some of the best forms of fats that I get in my diet are coconut oil, which I know has recently come out as a real good healthy thing that people are taking advantage of. Make sure you go, we know where it's coming from, that it's organic. Other sources of healthy fats are in avocados. Another good source is grass-fed butter, which is a really good balance of omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, plus the healthy, happy cow that the butter comes from allows for much more nutrients to occur in the butter itself. And olive oil is good to use. I'd be careful with how much you cook with it because you can destroy a lot of it. It's not very heat resistant, so oils like coconut oil or almond oil or even avocado oil is more heat resistant. And then of course, if you can find some local healthy raised eggs that haven't been shipped across countries to get to you, then you will line yourself up into a really good position. And remember that the yolk is where the fat lies within all of the egg, and that's where you're going to have a nice, well-rounded meal in an egg. It's almost a perfect food because of the fact that, one, it creates an entire chicken, but two, it's full of really healthy fats and good proteins in there. Just make sure it's grass-fed, free-range chicken. So basically, that's my healthy tip of the day, and I look forward to engaging in any conversation you have about this topic. I know it's rather controversial in a lot of settings, but I can tell you with all of my own confidence that going to a low-carb and a healthy, high-fat diet will make a huge difference in your life. You can get yourself into a fat-burning mode and lose tons of weight from eating a high-fat diet. This is all very true, and there's tons of examples out there, so please do your research, comment, ask me questions, and I'd love to chat more. Have fun taking health into your own hands.